Hello everyone, it is Sunday, February 27th, 2022. Of course, Wednesday was New Comic Book Day, and I was unable to do the video on Thursday, so I'm doing it today. Really not a big week for books this past week, but there were a couple of really nice books that came out, so we're going to show those. And then, if you remember, I had Something's Killing the Children, some books I had sent out to CBCS that came back, and I told you there were some issues. I got those books back already, and I'll kind of explain to you what had happened there. And then a quick discussion about my upcoming sale this Tuesday, March 1st. So let's jump right into the books. Ghost Rider had a new storyline coming out. A lot of covers on the Ghost Rider. We've talked about that on this channel before. Not real wild about numerous covers, but there was a couple really good ones. First one up, because I only bought two, and I am a Ghost Rider fan, was a wraparound cover. This was the front of it, and then the back. So really nice looking cover there. So I bought that one. And again, another reason, price point on these was like $6 a book. I'm not wild about the $6 cover prices. Next book up from the Ghost Rider #1. Saw this, immediately had to get it. Scotty Young. I just thought that was a funny little cover right there, riding a little bike and doing his thing. So really nice cover there. There was, like I stated, a lot of covers. I think there was like 6 or 7 different covers. I'm not going to buy 6 or 7 different covers. I'm real careful about the books that I do buy, and if I am going to buy multiple copies of a book, it'll basically be the same cover, with the exception of things like House of Slaughter, Something's Killing the Children. Next up, second printing, Timeless #1. New Punisher logo on that. I don't know how well this is going to do. I don't know if this is going to be a long-term Punisher logo, but I'm not wild about that logo. I don't think it's very good. Stick to what works, but again, Disney now has it. I don't think they could own the original logo for the Punisher, so they came up with that logo for the Punisher, and quite frankly, I am not a fan of that one. Next up, Silk #2. There's that there. Avengers 53, the Gwyn variant. A book that I thought was really nice, and then, you know, it's going to be popular because of who the artist is. This is Adam Hughes, Elektra, Black, White, and Blood #2, Negative Space cover. Really like that cover. Picked up a couple of these. I don't buy a lot, but I thought this one was really good. And then the next book I picked up from Marvel, no DC this week, just Marvel for me, and a couple of independents. It's Stormbreakers. It's a Peach Momoko cover. I'm not a huge Peach Momoko fan. I don't understand the draw for her artwork. It's more anime, manga type artwork to me, but she does have a big following. Again, I'm not a huge fan, but I saw this cover and I really liked it, so I bought a couple. It's this one right here. There is that. I mean, when you grow up on, you know, Bernie Wrightson and, you know, artists like that, it's kind of hard to look at something like that because it just kind of seems like there's not a whole lot of intent on it. That was it for the mainstream Marvel. All Marvel this week. Marvel's been killing it since the new year, even towards the end of last year. DC's kind of being left in the dust. Way too many Batman storylines. Way too many, you know, Harley Quinns or the Joker. They need to just get back to basics, bare bones, do a couple of storylines and keep it at that, because right now they're being left in their dust by, you know, independents and DC. Next up from Behemoth, Heavy Metal Drummer. This is one of the books we had talked about on the channel. Storyline was pretty decent. We'll see where this goes on that. And then the last 3 books I picked up, like we talked about, House of Slaughter. This is #5. There's one cover here. A different cover here. And this is kind of their version of a blank cover. Kind of cool. If you want to go to a show and see one of the artists, they can draw something probably pretty cool in that negative space right there. So there was that, and that's all we picked up this week. Again, nothing real wild, but a couple of decent little pickups. If you remember, I had done a video showing some books I got back from CBCS. Talked about the amount of time it took, over 7 months to get them back, but all the books came back 9/8. And I had also discussed that there was some issues with some of the labels. So I got those back. I sent them in. They were sent back in by the shop that put it in there. So thank you, Neil at Fandomverse, for doing that. And they got them back I mean, it was maybe a week and a half and they came right back fixed. So the issue was, we'll take a look at this one first. This was the 6th print for Something's Killing the Children. It did come back a 9.8. Very difficult book to get back in a 9.8 because there's not a lot of them out there. But up here where it says 6th print, this had actually said the J. Lee variant, Virgin variant, which of course it wasn't, because this is the J. Lee Virgin variant. And when I got this one back, instead of saying that, it stated 3rd print. Of course, we know it was not the 3rd print. And then finally, the number 1 3rd printing, which this one here didn't say 3rd printing, it said 6th print. So I had to send the books. The books had to be sent back to CBCS. We contacted the company. And, you know, surprisingly, I thought it was going to take like 6 weeks to get these back, 7 weeks. They sent them, had a person's name on the shipping label through FedEx. And within a couple of days, they were like, your books are on their way back. And I got them back in beautiful condition. And now I have the 9/8 with the proper shipping, with the proper labels on them, which is a really big deal to me. So CBCS, thank you for getting those fixed quickly and, you know, fixing the error. That was solid customer service, and hopefully in the future they'll do a better job of making sure books like that aren't being sent out, because it is kind of a hassle to send things back and forth. But it did come back fast, so I have no complaints. So I did my first sale last month and had fantastic sell day. A lot of positive comments about the setup of the garage. If you're looking at it on Instagram, you will kind of see what I'm talking about as it relates to, you know, the tables and the backdrops and everything like that. We took some time to make sure it looks inviting and looks like a comic book shop, because again, like we had stated before, this isn't a garage sale. This is basically a comic book shop that opens up a couple of times a month, and you can find good things. Now, I have added, for those of you who are showing up this Tuesday, March 1st from 11 to 6, I've added over 1,100 books to what I had, the prior sale. So there was a lot of things to look through. I have a lot of books to go through. There's always going to be a inventory, ad that there's plenty of books for people to look through, because, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get a really solid sell place. Like I said, the reviews were positive coming back on that. But again, like with everything else, you're going to have some negativity out there. And there was a lot of negative. There was a few people that were just kind of being trolls. Give me 1 second. Glass of milk. There are people out there being trolls. I saw one of them at a shop, and he saw my post on one of the local Las Vegas comic book sites, and he had put in there, oh, look at those books, and why would you buy here when you can go to a comic book shop, and his prices are bad, and this is bad, and it was all negative, and he didn't even show up. So I saw him at a shop, and he was like, why would I go to a garage when I can go to a nice, comfortable comic book store? Okay, well, you can go to a nice comic book store. I don't care if you show up or not. It doesn't matter to me. I have enough following to where, I can, have a good business based off of, the customers that I have and the viewers that I have with the positive feedback. People always have negative things to say because they got nothing positive to say, because, deep down inside, they're just miserable. And you, sir, are just a miserable person. I told you that to your face at the comic book shop, and you didn't know what to say. I don't care if you badmouth me. I've always said that. People on this channel know I speak my mind. I give information that a lot of people may or may not agree with. I do know that when I was talking negatively about CGC years ago, when I was seeing the things that were going to happen, I took a lot of backlash. I would go to shows and people would say things, and you're just a hater, and you this and you that. And that's fine, but now people are starting to see that, and a lot of the bigger companies are now going to CBCS just because CGC is, they're having issues. Their cases have issues. Their grading is definitely terrible. If you don't believe me, take a look at, we pointed one of those out where I gave you, a book to look up and see the negativity of the grading. But then people always come back and say, well, that's just one book. Well, if I'm paying fees and I'm waiting for a year for my books to come back, if I'm not going to pay the fast track fees, I don't need issues with my books. I need the books to be graded accurately and professionally, because, if you look at what some of these high keys are getting, which we have discussed, if you see the high key grades that are coming in, they're given these grades 7, 8s when these books are no better than 5, 6s. And when you're talking about certain books, you can be talking upwards of, $1,000+ So again, you can't get what you pay for. Like I've stated before, and we've discussed several times on different segments of this channel, is that if you want to be, accurate with your grading, you have to practice that and trust your grading. People think that I'm a tough grader. That's the big joke around, is that, I underprice my books because my books are, for the most part, a lot of them are unread because I buy and just store. And, that's my status. That's my, business model, is I price books that I think are fair. And if you're going to buy a book that's unread and, you're going to guarantee yourself a 9.6, 9.8 grade on that, why shouldn't you pay a good price for it? Because you're still going to make a decent profit on that. Like I stated, these books that I'm showing you right here, these 9.8s that I got back, and all the 9.8s that I got back, none have ever been pressed. They've never been cleaned. They were pulled off of shelves. They were bagged and boarded by me, and they were stuck in boxes. And then I pull them out and I send them in when viewers ask me to do things like that. And this is what I got coming back. Now, I have some books that I've sent out, again, off of that. It is I think we talked about this before, a Thor Jane Foster, the Thor #1, the first Jane Foster, a Venom #3, second print. I have a McFarlane Crow that went out, that was part of those books that I showed a while back. One of them I sold at the last garage sale, which the person snapped up real quick, and very happy to get it. I have a Hulk 340, of course, the famous McFarlane cover. And then I have the Comic Tom variant that I picked up at a show 6 months ago or so. Something's Killing the Children, #16. It was a Comic Tom variant. It was really, really good. So I was happy with that. And then I have 3 other books that are going in. One was The Gift from a Friend, which we talked about, which was the first Swamp Thing, signed by Bernie Wrightson. That is a low-grade book, but it's something that's going to be a permanent addition into my private collection, and it's going to be displayed proudly in the background there when it comes in. So I really don't care what the grade is on that. And then I have a Blade Morbius, I think it was Adventures into Fear 24, I believe it is. Really high grade, really, really nice. And then I have one of the first Golden Age books I'd ever purchased as a kid that's coming back, and that is a Steve Canyon book. And I'm very excited to see that book come back and see what it is. That, again, is not something that is grade. I don't care about the grade on that. It just brings back good memories of one of the first Golden Age books I'd ever purchased for myself. And I'm excited to get that one back. So again, we have the sale this Tuesday from 11 to 6, 11 a.m. to 6. And you can go to the Instagram page, which is Arkham Garage Comics, and you can see the information on how to get in there. I don't leave the garage open. You text me when you get here, or you can call me when you get here. I'll pop the garage will open up, and you'll have the opportunity to pick up some really nice books at really good prices. Again, I've added over 1,000 new books from this sale here, for the sale coming up on Tuesday. I already have people that are excited to come in here. And again, the books are going to be bought whether you come and look at them or not. And as it relates to, the people that want to be negative about it, you can be negative all you want. It just makes me drive that much harder, to do something that obviously a lot of people in the comic book community here in Las Vegas and the viewers on this channel are enjoying, and it's just going to keep growing. I probably have another 75,000 books that ultimately I have to go through to get things up, and I'm going to do that. So it's going to be really, really nice, and there's always going to be something new. There's not always going to be super, super high key books, because like I stated, my business model originally was high grade or nice filler books, which always has a big market, because everybody hunts the keys, not everybody hunts the filler books. So there was that. So again, you say what you want. Those of you who come out here, you're the ones that are going to benefit from purchasing the books. So there it is. And a couple shout outs for people who showed up last time. Rob, of course, Red Hood Comics. You came out as always. You've been a big, big supporter. I thank you for that. Gorilla Todd, I thank you for that. Dom, you know who you are there. Barney, thank you very much for not only the gift, but coming out and supporting this channel, and everybody else who comes out there. Rudy, even though you couldn't make it, you've always been a great friend and a big supporter. So I thank you, and all the viewers that are completely positive to me on this channel. Your positive comments and your support is what's keep me moving forward and keeps me wanting to do this. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. And if you're a subscriber, thank you. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. But with that said, I hope you liked the video. But as always, if you didn't, nothing I can do for you. Have a great, great day. Happy hunting. I hope to see you on Tuesday. So check the Arkham Garage Comics website, or excuse me, not the website, but the Instagram account for the information. And again, have a great day.